as we are ready to go here. Pikarczyk looking for a centering pass, goes all the way to the corner for Henry. Now a quick shot from Lucchese, score! Brandon Lucchese from inside the blue line surprises Bailey Stevens, and the Breakers strike first. It's 1-0 on the road. Here it comes back to Tim Delaney. Now a stretch pass over to Yevdokimov, closing in one-on-one, score! Yaro Yevdokimov, what a feed from Grant Bondi back the other way. Oh my goodness, the vision. And Yevdokimov, in his first game wearing the captain's C, notches his 5th goal of the season. And the Breakers double their margin. It's 2-0. Pikarczyk on over to Caden Henry. Henry looking to fight it on over to Yevdokimov. Drop pass on over. Pikarczyk shoots. Score! Lucas Pikarczyk. A beautiful passing play from the Breakers. That was going to be the make or break factor for Charlie Penz's group, is puck possession. How about that time from what's becoming the best line, one of the best lines in the Continental Division. Pikarczyk, Henry, and Yevdokimov. 3-0. Back the other way, Bondi. Just barely able to force it out. Now quick touch pass from Yevdokimov over for Henry. Henry toe drag to his backhand, score! Caden Henry with a highlight reel goal off a beautiful passing play. The exception line does it again. As breaking it out of the zone. Quick opportunity for Hansen. Traveling with him is Conway. Back for Hansen. Conway. They score! Conway tucks it on the short side, and the Breakers extend their lead to 5. How about that passing play from Curtis Hansen to Declan Conway? 2 seconds and 1, and that will do it. As Josh Rosenzweig picks up his first shutout of the season. 45 saves for Josh Rosenzweig. A night he very much needed to get those numbers trending back in the right direction, as now Infantino wants a piece of Steve Ford. A little something going on at center ice as the two teams are being separated by the officials. Yaro Yevdokimov hurting his cast of characters back one way. Trey Fisher and Ford still bickering.
The Battle of the Gulf South continues as the Monroe Moccasins travel to the Biloxi Breakers to face them tonight. Friday night hockey on the beach coming up next. Welcome in everybody to the game tonight. The Monroe Moccasins versus the Biloxi Breakers here at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. Welcoming our listeners tonight on 103 Rocks, KNOE, and YouTube.
It's Hockey Night live from the Mississippi Coast Coliseum. My name's Devin Dobek, joined tonight by the color commentator for the Monroe Moccasins on our joint broadcast. His name's Pete Furcano. Pete, welcome high above the ice. Happy to be sharing the mic with you tonight.
Yeah, a little different look for us. Joseph Furtado, my regular broadcast partner, will not be in attendance this evening, but have no fear, Moccasin fans, he will be back next week, and it's going to be okay. But tonight, I get to share the mic with a good friend, Devin Dobek.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. If you didn't have a chance, go check out our podcast, Hockey Time Down South, where me, Pete, Joe Furtado, and Brian Flores break down all things Zydeco, Moccasins, and Breakers. Had our second episode this past week, so you can search that up on YouTube and take a listen to hear our thoughts on all of our respective clubs and Hockey Time Down South. But Pete, the fourth meeting between the Moccasins and the Breakers here tonight, the Moccasins have taken the first three pretty handily. They've scored at least 7 goals a game in each of the 3 affairs, 7, 7, and 9 respectively. Breakers come in, they need to find a way to get against this opponent. That's going to be a huge issue for them.
Yeah, you know, and all the games have been completely different, right? There's we had a couple blowouts, we had some close ones in there. You know, it's just you never know what we're going to get. But I tell you what, the series we both had last week, you guys went and swept the Zydeco, and we got swept by the Athens Rock Lobsters with a heartbreaker, 7-6 overtime loss on Sunday. I can guarantee you this, I'm sure the boys were practicing really hard this week, and it's going to be a really interesting game on our end.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Of course, these two, you can call it 3 with the Baton Rouge Zydeco teams, have really become rivals here early on. They see each other, at least the Breakers see both the Moccasins and the Zydeco 12 times each. They've already played them 3. This will be number 4. They've already had 2 with the Zydeco. So all of these southern teams meeting so much has formed these natural rivalries, and it's been something to really entertain and take in early on in the season.
Well, it's nice with these close proximities. I think the Fed League Flash talked about it earlier before the season started and called them pods. You know, you've got the 2 Louisiana teams and then Biloxi. It's really good, easy travel. I told our fans we have a steady dose of the Athens Rock Lobsters and you guys for a couple weeks. We got Athens for 2 more after this series. Well, there's 1 game tonight anyway. And then we'll see you guys again next Sunday. You get to travel up to the great state of Louisiana, the Pelican State, to come hang out with us on Sunday for a matinee game at 3 o'clock.
The Breakers' next 4 games will all be against the Columbus River Dragons, who are having their home opener tonight against the PD Ice Cats. So you can imagine game 2 will be a good crowd in Biloxi. But taking it back to our matchup here tonight, Pete, 2 goaltenders. We've seen one of them before. We haven't seen the other. So starting for the Monroe Moccasins, Henry Graham made his one and only start against the Breakers in that 7-6 Monroe win. Let up 6 goals, but got the job done in his professional debut. What can you tell us about Henry Graham between the pipes tonight?
Well, I watched Henry Graham during warm-ups, and he looked really solid. He looked focused in. He's a good goaltender. He takes up a lot of space, does well down low, and he protects everything up high. So, I mean, he's very skilled, good movements, great mechanics, tracks the puck well. You know, it's something I talk to a lot about the goaltenders, and you know, you don't have any slouches on your side either with both your goaltending too. But I think we're going to have a good night on the Moccasins end with Henry Graham between the pipes.
Anton Borodkin will be going for the Biloxi Breakers. He was acquired via trade with the Indiana Sentinels earlier this season, so he makes his Breakers debut. Had a tough go in his first start in Indiana, but this is a guy who's played under Charlie Pence before. He's a very prolific goaltender. Elwab Bouchard moves out, Borodkin comes in, and now once again you have that 1 and 2 tandem that's going to be hopefully really good for Charlie Penn's group. So making his Breaker debut, but Borodkin on his 4th team has played with Watertown, Blue Ridge, Indiana, and now the Breakers. This season, or last season with the Watertown Wolves, much more relevant statistics, a 3.74 goals against average and a 907 save percentage. Both those marks, any goaltender above a 900 save percentage is respectable in the FPHL. But taking a look at just the 2 names, the 2 on paper, who do you think is going to have the edge in between the pipes tonight?
Obviously, I got to go on my side with Henry Graham. I think he's got a pretty good track record of his own, but we're going to see, because that's why we play these games, right? It doesn't matter who you play and what given night, anything can happen, you know. And you mentioned about the goaltenders, and we got a couple new faces in our lineup this evening. We've got Caleb Melanson, who was just signed. We brought him in. Caleb has had a cup of coffee with the Baton Rouge Zydeco and the Sentinels, and he's from Lafayette. He runs the APHL team, the Voodoo out there in Lafayette. They play, at Planet Ice, so it's going to be good to see him out there. And also Oyo Toivonen, we got him finally back from Sweden. He had some things he had to take care of over there, some loose ends. They're all tied up, and we got him on the blue line tonight. Should be interesting. Yeah,
you mentioned Melanson, and of course he went to camp with the Biloxi Breakers, was a part of their training camp. Looked like he was going to be the enforcer for a little bit of a while, but AJ Schlepp comes in after a trade with the Port Huron Prowlers. He's got 5 FPHL games under his belt, 2 with the Breakers. He's had a fighting major in each of them. Do you think it's a safe assessment that Melanson and Schlepp are going to go at center ice at some point here tonight, and when will it come?
Zdeno Schlepp and Caleb Melanson, I definitely think I think those 2 are going to go. My hope is they don't do this thing right off the jump.
It's nice when it's organic as well.
It has to be organic. I mean, you know, you don't want things that look kind of funky or weird. I mean, I played the game a long time, and you have guys on your team to police the ice, so to speak, right? You get somebody who might take a run at one of you guys or whatever. You got somebody out there to make them think, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. And you know, maybe grabbing Caleb for this game with knowing Schlepp was on the other side was a good idea, an insurance policy, if you will. But Caleb's a pretty decent player as well, so it's good to see him. He's a good friend of mine too, and I think those two are definitely going to have a tilt or two.
You can imagine. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, we might get a double dose of it. Or no, they're not going tomorrow. It's the first where the Breakers
still might fight tomorrow.
Opponents. I'm so used to seeing that there's another game tomorrow and scores are going to be settled. We're going to have to wait a few more weeks between the Breakers and the Moccasins. That 3 o'clock matinee in Monroe will be the next meeting between the two, as now they'll have, at the end of the night, 4 of their initial 12. Crazy to think how quickly we're moving on through the season here, Pete.
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the top line for the Breakers. They have been above and beyond, arguably one of the best lines in the division. Between you have Dakimov, Henry, and Pikarczyk, they've combined for 46 points in the first 7 games for the Breakers. They've had it all working. How are the Mocs going to limit their success here tonight?
Well, to kind of piggyback on what you said, getting Yarrow back was huge for Biloxi, right? And then Caden Henry just lighting it up. You know, former Moccasin, he's such a fan favorite up in Monroe, and we're very happy he's doing so well over here. And you know, you got your Crowder, and you got so many good players. This is not the Mississippi team from last year by any standards between your goaltending, defense, and forwards. But I think our forwards match up against yours pretty well, and our defense has been pretty solid. Last weekend was a little weird. We had 2 different games. All in all, a much well-anchored defense, I think, to counter your offense. We're going to see. I mean, you've got a league's leading scorer on there, and we've got Austin Albrecht, who's right on his heels as well.
You took the words right out of my mouth. You want to talk about a guy who's had success against one team. That's been Austin Albrecht. He has 10 points in 3 games against the Breakers this season. 10 of his second in the league, 19 have come against Biloxi. He's been a huge acquisition for you guys in this offseason, and really, it's been shown on the score sheet.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the last game that he played against the Breakers here in this building, he had 4 goals. So, huge night. And that was one night I was finally off. But yeah, that was a big night. That's, we had a hat trick in both nights. The first night, Yanni Lirakos got the first ever franchise hat trick for the Moccasins. And the next night, Albrecht follows it up and says, "Hold my beer, I got 4." So yeah, I mean, anything's possible tonight. A lot of firepower on the ice. The fans are really in for a treat. Between the booth and what's on the ice, you never know what we're going to get.
No, it's going to be a fun one from high above the ice here, Pete. For those fans wondering, we're experiencing a bit of a delay. One of the officials is running a little bit late. So in the meantime, we're going to sit here with you, break down the game. Shouldn't be too much longer, but once they get in, we'll get into our pregame festivities and the game will get going. But huge thank you to everybody joining us here on Breakers TV, Sporfy, YouTube, and 106.3 Super Talk Mississippi. And I'm sure your station as well, Pete, has a lot of people that they'd like to thank on Moccasins TV.
Yeah, so our Moccasins TV tonight we're running. We want to also welcome in everybody listening on 103 Rocks on the radio side. KNOE. We are not on the Gulf Sports Entertainment Network tonight because the Pelicans are playing, although we are on our YouTube channel as well. And I also want to say hello to everybody over at Tailgaters for the watch party. Like I said, Joseph Furtado will not be joining us tonight. He is out of pocket, per se, but he will be back next week joining me. I will be back in Monroe, and he will be via internet, I suppose. But if you're listening to the game next week, we'll have him there. He'll be there in spirit, not so much body. But have no fear, he'll be back.
Segueing our way back to hockey talk, Pete. Monroe, you've been there for both years of their existence between last season and this season. Last season, 6th place divisional finish. It was a tough go for them. They really could not seem to get anything going despite all the moves they were making, all the acquisitions, everything that was going on just unfortunately didn't seem to be working for them. Now we carry it over into this season. What are the biggest changes that you've seen that have led to positive success?
Everything, from coaching all the way down. Man, our defense has been bolstered. Our offensive firepower. You look at these games. I can't tell you how many we've scored over 7 goals. I mean, we're averaging over 5 goals a game, which was unheard of last year. We had a streak. We had a mini streak last year. You know, and then the goaltending has been improved as well. So every facet of our game has improved. It's night and day, and the fans are ecstatic. I mean, that Civic Center. Believe me, the boys are missing the Civic Center right now, but they'll be back next week. It's just everything, and I think right now we're all in a good place. We're all moving forward, and the sky's the limit for this team. We're sitting tied right now with the PD Ice Cats in second place. I mean, dead on with the percentage points and everything. So exciting times in Monroe. Exciting times for hockey in Louisiana in general. There's a lot of things going on there as well. But nonetheless, we are here tonight on the beach playing with Biloxi. So it's going to be exciting, and we're happy to be here.
Yeah, and you talked about all this success, Pete, with the Moccasins as of recent this season. And one thing that was thwarted was, of course, last weekend only coming away with one of a potential 6 points, but they were good games. The Moccasins hung with the Rock Lobsters, a 6-2 loss, followed by a 7-6 overtime loss. Both games could have been winnable. The Moccasins at points throughout both games could have had a chance to either climb back in or hold the lead, and it just didn't work out. So what do you need to see them change in their game plan as they come back into Biloxi tonight looking to get back in the win column?
Well, it's getting back to their hockey, getting back to the fundamentals. And I talked to Russ Perrant before the game, and he even said, these boys are ready. They are fired up. They're ready to go. You know, in a tough loss like that, and, you know, Lukarov just had a little time and space in that overtime frame for the Rock Lobsters and put it in top shelf on Sean Kuhn there with 1 minute and 30-some-odd seconds in overtime. That's a heartbreaker. So, like I said in our podcast, you're going to have some angry boys out there and ready to move forward and get past that, and they shake it off. So I think they're going to get back to basics, focus on chasing that goaltender as always, getting those shots on goal, getting rid of him. But then again, you're going to be facing a strong goaltender, Josh Rosenspike, so that might not be a great idea. And then, you know, walk out of here with a win. It's just, I think they're going to go back to what they do best, is try to control the game and get those shots on net, because, man, they are really peppering the net. So I think they put last week behind them and they're ready to move on.
All right, Pete, here comes the curveball. So we know your thoughts for Monroe to find a way back into the win column. You've seen all 3 of their games against the Breakers early on this season. The Breakers have come up short in each of the 3. What is Biloxi going to have to do to pull off what I think would be considered an upset against a team who's had their number this season? What do you think they need to improve upon, just taking a look at the big picture in all the games head-to-head?
Well, I mean, they got to shut down their top line for the Moccasins. And, you know, it's weird because I don't know if we have a top line, to be honest with you, because they spread the wealth so much. But to play as a cohesive unit, I think, is really what's going to be suiting them the best tonight. If they play well together, sky's the limit. I mean, you look at your opening line, man, you guys can put some numbers on the board really, really fast, and you have to have an answer to that if that happens. So goaltending needs to stay strong tonight for Biloxi. Defense has to hold up for your goaltender. It's a domino effect, right? And your offense has to contribute and put those pucks in the back of the net. So it's going to be an interesting matchup tonight, because I haven't really seen your goaltender, so I don't know what to say about that. As you know, that's my forte. But yeah, I mean, that's what they need to do: play as a cohesive unit, keep it simple, and do those little things. And play a physical game, because we will play a physical game on the Monroe side. So those are the things that they need to do to kind of step up and give themselves a chance tonight to win.
All right, so we're looking at 2 power plays who've been prolific this season. 2 power plays that have been exceptional all year long. You have the Moccasins, they're 4th in the division, around 21.6%. The Breakers, number 2 in the division, 26.2%. The flip side of all the good news and scoring on the power play for the Breakers is they've surrendered 3 shorthanded goals, one of them belonging to Ben Stefanini a couple weeks ago that ended up being a crucial goal, as the rest of the game showed. So, with 2 good power play units, do you think discipline will be a point of emphasis for both Perrant and Charlie Pens this season, or tonight?
Oh, 100%. I mean, you put yourself in the box and you put your team at a disadvantage right off the jump. I mean, both of these power plays are very, very capable of putting the puck in the back of net and lighting a lamp. But I mean, I don't know what we're going to see as far as discipline on either side. When you've got these two behemoths, they might go after each other. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah, and if you are going to get a penalty, as I used to call it last year, bring your buddy to the box. You know, try to get something offsetting. If you know you're going, you may want to try to goad somebody into something that they don't maybe want to do. So, but I definitely think discipline's going to be key. They're both going to have to, both teams are going to have to buckle down and play smart because nobody wants to play behind and you don't want to play at a disadvantage. So I think that's going to be preached before the game.
We'll run through some respective roster updates for you. So defenseman Frank Steinway has been ruled out for the season. He was just released due to an ACL tear. We're wishing Frank all the best, but nobody's in a better headspace than Frank. He's all smiles. It was tough to say goodbye to him, and we're wishing Frank the absolute best. He's probably tuning in right now back home in Texas. So Frank, hello to you. Other moves, Charbonneau still not back from the injured reserve list for Charlie Pens, but we're expecting a return soon. Declan Flanagan, his timeline closing in as well, but he still has a couple more weeks. Fab Leonard, the same thing. He's going to need a little bit longer, but a bunch of changes, and of course the biggest one is Aldiyar Nerland joining the Biloxi Breakers, a guy who played at the World Juniors in Kazakhstan, won the silver medal, so he's a guy with a boatload of experience. Charlie Pens has been waiting for his arrival, and hopefully he can make an immediate impact in the lineup tonight. But shifting things over to the Moccasins, Pete, what kind of changes have happened or transpired this week that we should expect to see here tonight?
Well, we've got the Mo brothers. They're on IR right now, and Tucker Scantleberry didn't make the trip. I'm not sure if he's just a maintenance night, which is very well possible. And like I said, we've got some a couple entries in the lineup. Like I said, Milan Son, and I know Richie didn't make the trip either this night. So that's why we have Graham in net tonight. So, and we're still looking at some backup goaltenders. We know Sean Kuhn's going to carry the load down the stretch and be our starting goaltender. And right now they're either A, looking for somebody to challenge him for that position, or for that starting position, or who is going to be our solid backup. And once you've got that, that's it. Lights out. You're not looking at anybody else. You're moving full steam ahead. And you guys might be a little bit on that path as well. Eloy Bouchard got sent out of here too, and now you've got a new goaltender in. So yeah, teams will do that. I mean, maybe up until Christmas, they're going to see a lot of in and out in the Fed. I mean, we were at Baton Rouge a couple years ago, and the changeover rate was crazy. It was like a retail store. It was just in and out, until they got what they wanted, and then they moved forward. So I think both teams might still see some interchangeable parts for a few weeks now, and then we're going to get what we get when Santa comes to town. That's going to be ready to go.
I can't wait, Pete. It's going to be an entertaining one, but we still got a couple minutes. For those of you just tuning in, Devin Novak, Pete Fricano teaming up, Breakers TV, Moccasins TV, joint broadcast here tonight. So really looking forward to it, but we're experiencing a little delay. They're waiting on a piece of equipment, and the officials are a little bit late, so we're going to get going momentarily here. But we're looking forward to a good night of hockey, Pete. Starting to run out of things to talk about. I feel like we're on the podcast. Between the podcast and now we come pregame here tonight, it feels like we've talked about just about everything we can. But let's take a look at some more things. Should we get into our starting lineup, shall we?
I mean, we can either get into that or we can get into the games that are also at hand. There's some interesting games tonight on tap, right?
Take us through them.
So I think the heavyweight matchup tonight's really the one that I'm most interested in. I'm going to be keeping tabs on is the Binghamton Black Bears are at home tonight against Athens Rock Lobsters, which is going to be just a powerhouse matchup. You get the Port Huron Prowlers at home against the Sentinels. The Thunderbirds are traveling over to the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Watertown is in Danbury. The PD Ice Cats are in action tonight in Columbus, and they're going to be a little rivalry now too, because they've got them in Athens. They're going to be they're close proximity, so that's going to be an interesting go down the way. And then of course you've got our tilt here tonight as well, so I mean there's some implications as far as where standings could be after tonight. I mean, like I said, right now Athens is sitting up in the lead with 23 points, and right behind them the Ice Cats and Moccasins sit at 16. So man, what what a tight division start. And you guys really just came out of nowhere with those 6 points last weekend was huge.
They were massive.
Getting back in.
Because
right, I was
the Breakers
excited to
and the
watch
Zydeco
that.
were neck and neck,
Yeah.
and they had to find a way to get those early points, set the tone early on in the season series, and fortunately they were able to, but the Zydeco gave them a scare for sure on night 2. I don't know about night 1, but depends who you ask. 5-0 shutout win, and then 6-5 overtime win the next night, Pete, and it just was a good weekend to be a Breakers fan, but they're heading into this gauntlet. They've got Monroe here tonight, who they're 0-3 against, and then 4 against the Columbus River Dragons in a row. So it's going to be a bit of a gauntlet. They're going to have to find a way to steal some points. Columbus has started to find their stride again. We'll save my pregame talk for them tomorrow night. Don't want to jump any guns there, but they have been a fantastic team here earlier on after the shootout win, 1-3 start. Ever since then, they've climbed back up to 500. They're 4th in the division, nipping at the Mocs heels by about 5 points now, but it's going to be a tough go for the Biloxi Breakers. They're going to have to find a way to really dig deep here and find a way to steal some points.
Yeah, you guys have a tough stretch, and yes, I do my homework, and you got us tonight. Like you said, 4 against Columbus, and then you're making a trek on up to Monroe, which is going to be really tough for you guys coming up on that Sunday matinee game after playing a tough series with Columbus. And at Columbus, like we said, you know, they're finding their stride maybe a little bit now. They're going to have a tough series this weekend with PD, so hopefully, you know, I don't even know who I want to win that series, to be truthful, because they're both sandwiching us at this moment. But, you know, Joseph and I talk about all the time, too. You look at the standings, and the Thunderbirds and the River Dragons aren't the same teams they were.
No.
They're depleted. There's been some moves. Either guys didn't report or whatever the case. They're just not the teams before, because normally we're used to seeing Columbus at the top looking everybody down. Same thing with the Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds at 2-6, you know, with 6 points, and then Baton Rouge at 1-4, which is odd. The season's so early. There's a lot of hockey left to go, but Columbus is going to be a tough one. If they can get hot, you know, Trevor Babin's going to be suspended for 2 games, which is good for you guys tomorrow night. You won't be seeing him.
Tyler Roy's had a lot of experience, though. He's a good goaltender, more than capable goaltender as well. But
100%.
I think without Babin, they're definitely shorthanded if he's going both nights.
Yeah, he's a different factor. I mean, Babin gives you toughness, but in my opinion too, there's times where Babin's a battler. He's a proven winner, but he can get rattled like a lot of goaltenders, and sometimes us goaltenders let that get to us, and you kind of lose it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, every team we've talked about it, you and I've talked about it. The Continental is definitely the toughest, I think, between the two divisions, conferences, whatever we want to call them. It's going to be fireworks come end of February into March. We're really going to see where everybody settles out.
The Continental Division is, I mean, just so jam-packed with competition. I mean, top to bottom, there's really not a team that you could label as bad. Of course, we've seen the Zydeco start. It hasn't been too hot, 1-6-1, but they're still a capable team. They took one from you guys, and of course, they gave us a run for our lunch money the other weekend. They're a team who can definitely steal a few points. I'm not sure we'll see them above the top 3 or 4 spots in the division throughout the season, but they're a team who could be a little bit of a pest, similar to what we saw out of Mississippi. They had limited wins last year. They were getting blown out a decent amount, but they did steal a few wins, especially late in the season last year, and changed the playoff picture. So if Baton Rouge can just stay capable and continue to play competitive hockey, I think that they could be a team that could sneak in on the backside of this competitive Continental Division.
Yeah, you're right. We went into podcast mode. But you're right. And the thing I see about with Baton Rouge is they're very speedy. They're fast. And speed kills. You know, I don't care how big the guys are on the other side. You guys got these speedy guys. You know, that's it. You know, like you've got Caden Henry, who's just hell on wheels, man. He's just a speedster. You get a bunch of guys like that. You Scotty Chirac, you know, Coxey, and you know Ross Bartlett. You get some guys that can fly. They can do some damage, and Bailey Stevens in that there too. So, man, these are such interchangeable parts. And let me ask you something. So, you coming from the Danville Dashers last year?
Match my win total from last year already. I got my 3rd.
I was happy. I was going to get a cake for you, but I was like, you know, I don't know. I'd get Lisa cut the cake for you, and that'd have been great. But maybe next Sunday. But well, first of all, the change of scenery is much better. I mean, you went from being children of the corn to right along the water here. here on the beach. You're within, 300 yards from the water. And you were in the Empire last year, correct?
Yes.
So how does it look in this being in the Continental now, opposed to being in the Empire? What's your view?
It's so much more competitive, and of course there was some division realignment. We saw Blue Ridge jump to the Empire, so I think that definitely strengthened the Empire, throwing in a team like Blue Ridge, who's big and physical. But I think both divisions, I mean, there were the outliers, but other than that, 1 to 5, they were pretty competitive. Of course, you had like the Binghamtons, who reside at the top, but then you had these scrappy teams fighting for that 4th, 5th position. Motor City comes to mind, among others. Blue Ridge was one of those teams last year, the Zydeco. I might have said them twice, but it's much different. It's much more competitive. I mean, you got Athens this season, but other than that, I think 2 through 7 are pretty interchangeable. Carolina's had a tough start to their year. Biloxi trying to turn it up and make this 2 wins into a few more. But yeah, as far as just being here, very blessed. I'd like to give a huge shout out to our ownership group, Chris Bruniarski and Don Lewis. Thank you again for giving me a shot and for believing in me. Happy to be here, and couldn't have done it without you guys. So thanks so much for helping bring me on over here, and it's been an absolute blast to call Biloxi Breakers hockey. It definitely feels like I found a bit of a new home here, and a really good community and group of people, and of course great team and product on the ice. So it's been awesome. I'm very fortunate to be here, and yeah, go Breakers.
Well, we're happy to have you down here too. You know, we Joseph and I and Troy as well. We came into Danville last year and ambushed your setup, and we took over, and you were a little worried about that, but after it was going on, you gained your confidence, right? And I think after that we all became really good friends, and we're really glad you're down here. Get rescued from that situation over there. Well, that's not even there anymore, right? That's just picked up and moved its bags. No, I think you're in a better place, and we're happy for you, and we get to see you more. That's the benefit of that. I mean, I live in New Orleans. You already know you're an hour and 15 minutes away from me. So
it's not too bad.
Out. No, not at all. So no, welcome to the South, as the Massachusetts native as you are, and glad to have you down here.
Yeah, it's good to be down here. It's a really good community, and Danville was very good to me and everything going on there. But it was just a tough situation for hockey to succeed there. Record for those people that are wondering what we're talking about: Danville went a North American professional hockey worst ever, 349-3 last season, or 349-4, excuse me, in the 56 game year. But they survived, and it was great. So happy to be here in Biloxi. Happy to get going for the Breakers and the Moccasins. We're going to step aside for a quick moment here and be back right here on Breakers TV.
Come on, man. Get on your feet. Let's see.
Officials are getting set to drop the puck. And we are underway from Biloxi. Crowder plays the bank off to Yevdokimov. Strong off the wall, takes it over to Pikarczyk. Backhand pass right over to Henry. In all alone, he shoots, he scores! Caden Henry opens the scoring. 32 seconds in, his 5th of the season. Biloxi strikes first at home. How about French and Schlepp round 2 at center ice, this time in Biloxi. French 6'2", 205 versus AJ Schlepp 6'8", 209. A heavyweight tilt here in the neutral zone. Both guys getting a feel for each other, slowly getting ready to go here at Breaker Bay. A quick fight. And now French comes in first. He gets a couple rights off. Schlepp trying to get free, a couple lefts. Some machine guns back over to the right. Nobody can get free. Schlepp, a couple connections. Trading with Bryce French. French is standing in there. Schlepp continuing to feed him. Grabs the jersey and takes him down. If he wasn't the nicest guy in the world, other than when he's fighting, probably could have pounded him. Yevdokimov comes in to intercept. Bank pass in the neutral zone. Here's Caden Henry with a stick lift. In all alone again. He scores! For an opportunity. And now Alexanian comes in and scores. Was paying a bit of attention to the Lucchese collision with Kim Miettinen over on the half wall. And Alexanian, in the midst of all that, tucks one home and cuts the lead in half. It's 2-1. Cox back over to Chirac. Chirac on his backhand looking in front. And Rosenzweig, sprawling all around, makes another big-time stop. He has been the rock for the Breakers and their X factor for success. You have Dokimov. Just missed the feed from Colarusso. Richie Colaruso's found a few really nice passing lanes. Another quick shot. In front, they score! Hat trick! Caden Henry! And here come the buckets. Larwood, stretch pass for Bartlett. Here comes the man. He scores while being taken down. Ross Bartlett gets one back, throws his finger in front of his mouth to quiet the crowd. Instead, just no blood, and I think it should have happened there as Chirac buries one right in the bumper position, surrounded by blue jerseys. And he gets into a prime scoring area, and when Chirac has room, he can let it fly. Henry shimmies, shoots, save made, Coffee, rebound, they score! Darius Davidson on the doorstep. His first as a Breaker gives them the lead with 10:15 to go. Dylan Infantino at the circle. Finds Thornton, now Infantino again. Infantino looking in front, the rebound on goal, and Coffee stands strong. The rebound, Crowder! Something happened. As in front, there it is. Ross Bartlett from the top of the blue paint tips one through the legs of Josh Rosenzweig. And now you have Dokimov fanned on the pass attempt, and now Bartlett springs ahead. You have Dokimov back checking. Bartlett to the middle, Alexanian, Bartlett scores. Short-handed. Ross Bartlett, a hat trick on the road. Stuns Breaker Nation, blowing kisses on his way down to High Five Coffee. Broken up by Cole Crowder. And now here come the Breakers, 2-on-1 Crowder, and you have Dokimov. Yarrow to his backhand, in all alone, off the post, no! Rosenzweig was already celebrating. Coffee can't believe it, he's down. Somehow that didn't go in. Everyone in the building thought it went in as Cox and Rosenzweig collide. Now another opportunity, closing in all alone, backhand opportunity, Coffee, stones Bondi. Quick move to his forehand, tiptoeing the blue line, quick pass across, closing in, Pikarczyk, scores! Lucas Pikarczyk ends it in overtime.
Strength isn't built in a single race. It's earned, mile after mile, pedal after pedal, step after step. The same endurance that drives athletes to the finish line fuels the steady hands and sharp focus required in surgery. It's about resilience, precision, and commitment in competition and in the operating room. Because true performance means showing up with excellence, no matter the arena. Looking for your next ride? Get more at Matt Bowers Hyundai Gulfport. Every new Hyundai comes with Matt's lifetime powertrain warranty on top of Hyundai's America's Best warranty and owner assurance. No one on the coast offers more, so why go anywhere else? Visit us today during the Getaway Sales event happening now just off Lorraine Road north of I-10. Official sponsor of your Biloxi Breakers.
Shop smart, buy local. Matt Bowers Hyundai, Gulfport.
Ben & Jerry's is serving up true ice cream euphoria inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Biloxi. You're sure to find your new favorite among more than 34 flavors. Let us scoop yours in one of our freshly baked waffle cones. Ben & Jerry's at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Biloxi, where euphoria awaits.
Fly in for a daiquiri that scores every time. Mile High Daiquiris is an aviation-themed daiquiri shop and the official daiquiri of the Biloxi Breakers. Open 7 days a week and offering 15 refreshing flavors, Jell-O shots, beer, and even a non-alcoholic daiquiri. They supply mobile daiquiris for weddings, birthday parties, and events. Only 4.6 miles west of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. Grab your crew and come try the best daiquiris on the Gulf Coast where flavor takes flight. Become a frequent flyer at 1107 Cohen Road, Suite B, Gulfport.
At Superior Optical Lab, we're proud to be certified as a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and to provide quality eyewear to veterans to whom we all owe our freedom. Thank you for your service.
Recharge your body, reset your mind, revive your spirit. At Revive and Thrive, every detail is designed to elevate your recovery and well-being. Unwind in our serene salt therapy room and float suite. Awaken your senses with the benefits of cold water immersion. Then, step into a custom-built sauna featuring soft Himalayan salt lighting for athletes, adventurers, and anyone ready to unlock the power of recovery. Discover the difference at reviveandthrivems.com.
Coastal Prints is a brand new business on the coast specializing in screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items. Being local and with 30 plus years of experience, Coastal Prints carries all the hottest clothing brands and thousands of promotional items. Uniforms, workwear, hats, drinkware, coolers, tchotchkes, and much more. Coastal Prints will make your brand and logo stand out. Come see the new showroom on Seaway Road in Gulfport or visit coastalprints.com or call 228-COASTAL.
The Mississippi Gulf Coast is where community and teamwork come together, on and off the ice. Foshi Residential is proud to support the Biloxi Breakers as they bring the heat to the rink this season. Foshi Residential manages 3 unique apartment communities along the coast, each offering modern finishes, resort-style amenities, and a location that puts coastal living right at your doorstep. Ready to find your community? Visit foshiresidential.com/Biloxi Breakers for more information.
Every new Hyundai from Matt Bowers comes with Matt's lifetime warranty included. That's in addition to Hyundai's America's Best Warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and Hyundai Owner Assurance. You get both warranties, making a new Hyundai from Matt Bowers an excellent value. Come visit us today during the Getaway Sales event at our new showroom just off Lorraine Road north of I-10 in Gulfport.
Shop smart, buy local. Matt Bowers Hyundai, Gulfport.
When injury knocks you out, Bienville Orthopedic Specialists will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Bienville Orthopedic Specialists. We will get you back.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Hello out there. night. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump, and the fans all go insane. Someone roars.